A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ya Ali Madad.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here to take complex ideas and, well, make them clear and really useful for you.
Our goal is always to cut through the noise, find those aha moments.
Exactly, those moments that stick with you. So last time, we started exploring this really rich concept of deen. Not just religion, but our whole way of life, our connection to the divine. We look closely at chapter 30, verse 30 of the Quran, which introduces fitratullah.
God's unchanging law of nature.
Right. And what was so striking was seeing how it mirrors human growth, infancy to maturity.
That parallel is key.
It suggested something profound, didn't it? That maybe religion itself isn't meant to be static.
Yeah.
That it's dynamic, evolving.
Like us.
Precisely. But, and this is crucial, it evolves within that constant framework of sunnatullah.
The divine law.
Yes. Other verses confirm this unwavering divine order. It's always there, guiding humanity's spiritual growth, even as outward forms adapt.
So you have this fascinating interplay. Dynamic and progressive, yet anchored in something constant. It's not a contradiction at all. It's, well, part of the design, you could say.
That balance is really central, and it leads us right into today's deep dive. How does this progressive change actually work?
How does it manifest?
Exactly. What are the specific stages that guide believers on this path towards divine recognition?
We've got some fascinating sources lined up.
We do. We're going to look at a blessed decree, a Farman Mubarak, a really important Hadith-i Mubarak, and even some surprising breakdowns of spiritual percentages. It might just shift how you see things.
It's quite illuminating.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's dive deeper into this ever-evolving path of deen. So to really get a handle on this idea of a dynamic religion, where do we start? How is it defined by, authority?
Well, a key starting point is the Farman Mubarak. That's a blessed decree from Hazrat-i Mawlana Imam Sulṭān Muḥammad Shah al-Husseini. This was from June 23rd, 1936.
Right.
He gives this incredibly powerful analogy. He says, and I'm quoting here, "Our religion is like that of a man who gets photographed every 10 years. Each time the image is different, but the man is the same. He will not look the same at 90 as he looked at 10.
Wow.
Similarly, the fundamental principle of our religion remains the same, but the outer form changes.
That's a stunning analogy, isn't it? It just cuts right through the idea of a rigid, unchanging faith.
It does. It shows it's alive, evolving, yet the core essence, the soul of it, remains constant.
So the application, the understanding, it adapts to the times. Just like that person in the photographs. They change, grow, but they're still fundamentally the same person.
Exactly that. The outer form changes to meet contemporary needs.
Okay, so if religion is this dynamic developing reality, the big question then is, how do we actually progress? How do we flourish on this path?
That's the practical side, isn't it? Allama Nasir Uddin Nasir Hunzai, in recognition of Imam, talks about Islam as the Sirat-i Mustaqim.
The straight path.
Right, leading to union with God. But crucially, he explains it's not just one flat road. It has 4 distinct stages.
4 stages.
Shariat, Tariqat, Haqiqat, and Marifat. And the ultimate goal, the destination we're aiming for, is Marifat. That's God's recognition.
Shariat, Tariqat, Haqiqat, Marifat. Okay. And is there something that helps define these stages clearly?
There is. A very important Hadith-i Mubarak, a saying of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him and his family.
Good.
It goes,
الشريعة أقوالي والطريقة أفعالي والحقيقة أحوالي والمعرفة السري.
Can you break that down for us?
absolutely. It translates to Shariat is my words, Tariqat is my actions, Haqiqat is my states, and Marifat is my secret.
Words, actions, states, secret. Okay.
Think of it like this. Shariat, my words, is the foundation. It's the outward stuff of commandments, rituals, laws, adhering to the letter.
The way you do.
Kind of. Then Tariqat, my actions, goes deeper. It's about the doing with conscious discipline, ethical conduct, living out the Shariat with real intention.
Okay, the how and why.
Getting warmer. Haqiqat, my states, that's the internal shift. The insights, the experiences that come from sincere practice, the inner truth you start to feel.
The inner reality.
Exactly. And Marifat, my secret. That's the ultimate goal, direct, intimate recognition of the divine, a knowing that's beyond just intellect. Deeply personal, sometimes hard to even put into words.
So it's a journey from outward observance to interaction to inner states and finally
to that ultimate divine intimacy, yes.
It makes so much sense laid out like that.
Yeah.
But why? Why these stages? Why the gradual path? Why isn't it just, boom, instant recognition?
That's a really important question. It points to divine wisdom. Al-Mahanzai, in Rubies and Pearls, says these destinations are set up so believers reach God's presence by degrees.
By degrees. Slowly.
Or rather, progressively, step by step. It acknowledges our human nature, our capacity for growth over time. It's not an immediate switch.
Right.
And this idea of different levels, it's right there in the Quran. Chapter 3, verse 163 says, Hum darajatun indallah.
Which means?
They are of diverse ranks with Allah. It shows a divine intention behind these varied spiritual levels, a compassionate, gradual path.
So it's like climbing a ladder, maybe?
Well,
or, as you said, like a flower unfolding. Intended progression.
that's a good way to think about it.
Okay, so if we have these progressive stages, this development, does that mean the requirements change over time too? Across different eras?
That's exactly what another key Hadith-i Mubarak suggests. This one is from Sunan al-Tirmidhi, graded Sahih.
إنكم في زمان من ترك منكم أشرى ما أمر به حلك ثم يأتي زمان من عمل منكم بأشر ما أمر به نجا.
Let's unpack that.
It means, roughly, you are in a time where if you abandon even 10% of what's commanded now, you'll be ruined.
Okay, high standard.
But a time will come when whoever practices just 10% of what is commanded then will be saved.
10%, that's a huge difference. What did that imply?
It implies a profound adaptability, doesn't it? That religious practice and even what constitutes salvation isn't rigidly fixed for all time.
It's contextual.
Exactly. It responds to the conditions of the era. What ensures salvation in one period might look different in another. It demands we understand faith dynamically, discerning what's needed now.
That's really thought-provoking. It challenges a lot of assumptions.
It does.
Now, this idea of stages, it leads to a common question, maybe even a misconception. People wonder, okay, if I reach Tariqat or Haqiqat, do I just drop Shariat? Am I done with the basics?
Yes. That's a very common misunderstanding and a crucial point to clarify.
Is it true? Can you dispense with Shariat?
The answer, according to 100 question 67 by Al-Mahanzai, is a clear no.
No. Okay.
You can't just dispense with it. The source emphasizes that everything in religion consists of the four elements of Shariat, Tariqat, Haqiqat, and Marifat. They're always present.
So it's not like graduating and leaving the old school behind.
Not at all. It's more about a shift in focus, a shift in dominance. Think of it like ingredients in a recipe.
Yeah.
They're all there, but the proportions change the final dish.
Okay. How does that work practically?
Well, there's this fascinating table in 8 Question and Answered, also by Al-Mahanzai, that illustrates this interconnectedness. It shows the percentages of each element at each stage.
Percentages. Okay, this sounds interesting.
It really is.
Yeah.
So at the stage of Sharia, the beginning, Shariat itself is dominant, say 40% outward focus.
Right.
But even then, Tariq, disciplined action, is there at 25%. Haqiqat, inner truth, is 20%. And Marifat, recognition, is 15%. They're all present, just less dominant.
Okay, so even at the start, the deeper aspects are there, just quieter.
Kinda, yes. Now, move to the stage of Tariqat. Here, Tariqat, the disciplined action, increases its share, maybe to 30%.
Makes sense.
But Shariat is still foundational at 25%. Haqiqat grows to 25% as understanding deepens, and Marifat edges up to 20%. See the shift?
Yeah, the balance is changing. What about Haqiqat?
At the stage of Haqiqat where inner states are key, Haqiqat becomes dominant, say 30%. Shariat is still there at 20%, maybe understood more deeply now. Tariqat is 25%, practice remains vital, and Marifat is 25%.
Everything's still present, just rebalanced again.
Exactly. And finally, at the stage of Marifat, the ultimate goal, Marifat is dominant, maybe 40%.
A larger share.
Right. But like Shariat is still there, 15%. Tariqat, 20%. Haqiqat, 25%. They're never abandoned, just integrated into that higher level of knowing.
That table,
Yeah.
that completely changes things. It's not about discarding stages. It's about integration and shifting emphasis.
Wow. It's a much more holistic and I think realistic view of spiritual growth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what does this understanding mean when we look at the real world, when we see friction, even conflict between different groups within the faith?
Well, that interconnectedness, that idea of stages, it sheds light on that too.
How so? If Islam is the straight path, why do we see these clashes?
It's a tough question. But the source, 8 Questions and Answered, offers a really insightful perspective. It says, think of it like this. If Islam is the straight path, then different Muslim groups or sects are like travelers at different points along that path.
Different stations on the journey.
Exactly. Some are further ahead, some are just starting out, some might be resting at a certain point. They're all on the same road, theoretically heading the same way, but their immediate viewpoint, their current focus, is different based on where they are.
Okay. I can see that.
The source uses analogies. Think of Islam like a big university. You have students in first grade, fifth grade, graduate level.
They're all students, all part of the university.
Right. But their understanding, their curriculum, their daily concerns are vastly different. You wouldn't expect a first grader to debate advanced physics with a PhD candidate, would you?
No, of course not.
Or think about human life stages: child, youth, adult, elder. Each stage has its own perspective, its own needs, its own understanding. It's a natural progression.
So the idea is that Islam, being the religion of nature, mirrors this gradual development. It unfolds in degrees.
Precisely. The teachings are given gradually. The instructions come in stages, suited to human capacity at different points.
Which means disagreements might just stem from people being at different grades or stages of understanding, seeing different parts of the whole picture.
That's the implication, that many conflicts arise from an ignorance of the stages, as the source puts it, not seeing the bigger picture, not recognizing the validity of a different point on the same path.
And this connects to something Mawlana Shah Karim said, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, very powerfully. When he received the Tolerance Award back in 2006, he referred to these conflicts as a clash of ignorance.
A clash of ignorance, not a clash of civilizations or fundamental beliefs, but ignorance.
Yes. It suggests the root cause isn't necessarily malice or irreconcilable differences, but often a lack of understanding. A failure to recognize the diverse, progressive nature of the path itself.
That's a profound way to frame it. It shifts the focus entirely. What an incredible journey this deep dive has been. We've seen Deen not as static, but as this dynamic, living path.
Rooted in the constant divine law, Sunnatullah.
Right. Unfolding through these four interconnected stages: Shariat, Tariqat, Haqiqat, Marifat.
And crucially, none are ever truly left behind. They're integrated, with the focus shifting.
Exactly. And understanding that, understanding the percentages even, helps make sense of why people might be at different points and why conflicts might arise often, as Mawlana Shah Karim put it, from a clash of ignorance.
Absolutely. And if we really take that on board, if we understand these stages, it really does open the door to more empathy, doesn't it? More harmony.
How so?
Well, by recognizing that someone else might just be on a different part of the same path, their focus might be different, their understanding might be at a different level, but it's still a valid part of the overall journey towards the same goal.
It fosters tolerance, not by ignoring differences, but by understanding their context within this progressive framework.
Precisely. It invites us to see the unity within the diversity of practice and understanding.
So the final thought for you, our listener, is this. Given that we're all on this continuous journey, this path of unfolding understanding, what does it mean for you?
How do you embrace the progressive nature of your own spiritual path?
And how might really internalizing this understanding of stages change how you interact with others, especially those who seem to be at a different point on their journey?
That's definitely something to ponder. Thank you. And thank you for joining us on the deep dive. Please join us next time as we delve even deeper.
In the upcoming podcast, we will delve into the profound meaning of Islam and discuss whether it is appropriate to classify and label Islam as a Neoplatonic religion. Embark on this enlightening journey with us as we uncover the intricacies of these concepts.
So definitely stay tuned for that. Thank you for joining us.